righty. Doc here from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Well, we looked at yesterday's video, and we had nobody say anything yesterday. So, you're welcome to, write something into it after, when you're watching the video instead of the live. This way, we could answer questions. If you have any questions from, this way you can get the answers from the video itself afterwards. So, or tune in live, either way. So, what do we got going on here? There's Janos. Hey, Janos. Yep, I look every day now before I do the webinar to see if anybody left a message. So, not bad. Let's see. Any comments on PAL? No, not particularly. It's I have a comment, but no one's mentioned anything. Just that people are, I guess you could call it the talking heads on the financial networks are basically insinuating, they're saying, how is he going to lower rates in May? So we're watching that to see if they changed, before it slipped out to September 2 weeks ago. It was out to September before they lower rates. Now, it's back to May. And yesterday's tail of the 30-year bond auction, and I can explain what the tail is. The tail is the difference between how many bids on buying the bonds that are being offered by the Federal Reserve, and the tail was incredibly small, and so that means there was less bidders, and that freaked out everybody, and so they sold the Dow down about 180 and 190 points. A little sip of the tea there, and so that was what freaked the market out yesterday. But there's a lot of money on the sidelines. They're still trying to get things rolling along. As you can see there on the dollar index, we're lifting back up again. It's anticipating an interest rate increase again now, and so we're heading back up a little bit. We'll see. I mean, I'm not sure if we're going to go take the 107 again or not, but that will be a triple top. Maybe Mountain West will pop out here and mention it as a triple top and see what's going on there. Now Reuters is saying that Powell caused the drop. Right. Also, it was the bond auction, but it was bond auction first and Powell after that, saying that we made a statement about inflation. Meanwhile, everyone can link the charts and know that it was the bond sale. Yes, exactly. And we can take a quick look at that too. Let's see, where's it at? What is the bond symbol? I know I have it way up top here. We'll just drift to it for a second. There's Bitcoin. There's that's not it. I think it's BZF. Let me see what that does. I think that's the bond. Now BZF is Brent. Brent is lifting up a little bit there this morning. 6BF. I think that's the British pound. Yeah, that's the British pound. BZF, there's the Brent again. There's British pound again. Let's see. I know I have the bond on here somewhere. Let's see we'll find it. And I haven't looked at the bond on this in a while. Now we'll just have to go look it up. So I guess I don't have the 30-year bond on there. I thought I did at one point. Let's go back to the dollar index, and we can look at it over here. And there we go. Hi. I'll just call you Yaro P. Hey P, how you doing? Let's put the bond up over here for a second. There's the bond. It was trying to get into a sell this morning. It's playing with the you can't see that. Here, let's show you this. You can see there it's playing with the 50-day moving average. That's what bond traders watch. They watch the 50-day moving average, whereas equity traders watch the 200-day moving average. And so that's the combination of it all. Let's see what do we got here. Oop. There we are. Just got a text. Let me see what that is. No. YouTube not letting Robin in again this morning. There we are. No problem. No problem, Robin. Just hang tight in there. And so, that let's see, what are we looking at? There's the 30, and you can see that the 30-year is trying to lift back into that. Let me just answer this website. Web. NOR. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's the that's pretty much what it came down to. Um, I'm trying to find the best words to not be stupid. Okay, the best words are: the Fed is going to watch the inflation. The inflation is going to be a little worse each month or each quarter than the one before. Not any. We've seen the bulk of it at this point. Oil's going to help by being down in the 70s. Let's see if it stays down in the 70s. But the policies of this administration are hindering growth, and the old-fashioned concept of the Federal Reserve believing that you needed to slow an economy to reduce inflation is kind of illogical at this point. It doesn't seem to work. Let's see. People's data. Oh, let me see. Giannis said. Why am I having a problem there with that? Oh, there it is. Okay. Hi. I heard that the Google is going crazy and stealing people. Yeah. Well, the government is trying to keep people unemployed. That's one way they knock down they think they're knocking inflation down. YouTube is pressing everyone into watching ads. Yeah, this is true too. Meta is forcing people to either pay or give all personal information about ad analysis. It's time to buy a shack near the lake and go live in the woods. That's what I do now. Eureka, Robin! Eureka! Yeah, so Thursday Night Football. Oh, Bears hold off Panthers 16-13. Nice. I understand that there's another game in Frankfurt this weekend. So back-to-back weeks of NFL football in Frankfurt, Germany. So that's pretty cool. And so, but yeah, I hear you. It is a look. We're coming into the last 7 weeks now, 6 weeks. We're coming into the last six and a half weeks of election. Election. Election's right behind it too. Last 6.5 weeks of the year, and there's a lot of money on the sidelines. They need to get invested. They probably are. I would hope they're doing the smart thing and buying stock and buying puts and selling calls. In other words, this way they get into the position, and then they can unwind the position. And keep the stocks for the new year. There's I don't know, like $1.5 trillion that is underinvested. There's like $4.5 trillion sitting on the sidelines. So in other words, and when I say it has to be invested, they're underinvested for the year, and the year is up, and so it makes them look foolish when they're not invested at the end of the year for their investors. So that's what's like they're nibbling now. Also, at the same time, we're discussing the interest rates. That's why we see we have on J4X, we have the dollar index up there, and you can see it's trying to lift up. Because the interpretation really is that the peak has come, okay? They think that there won't be any more increases in the interest rates. But they know that there's possibly one more quarter point increase, if not two. They know that. And so that's not too bad. They start speculating and dollar cost averaging into the bonds. Now, a lot of people are walking around saying, who's going to buy this $1.5 trillion of bonds over the next 3 months or something like that? Something like over 50% of it is rollover, so I don't see any problem with that. More than likely, the rollovers will roll over. But I think there's an issuance of about, I don't know, 600 billion, 700 billion out of the 1.5 trillion, something like that. It's a little under. The rollover is bigger, and what a rollover means is that the bonds are expiring, and they'll probably take that money and buy new bonds with it. So out of that 1.5 trillion, over like 65-70% of it will be rolled over. Now the new bonds will be a challenge. There's no doubt about that. But there's a lot of money out there that's trying to find places to park itself. So it wouldn't surprise me if some of that 3.5 trillion or 3 trillion will find a way to nibble at the 600 billion. And so that's part of the nervousness. Yano says, okay, what is the outlook for the Tesla U.S. and okay, let's look at them. So the first look is that let's run over to let's go do that first. Let's go to the dollar index and see what it's looking like this morning. I think it's closing in a sell for the week. Maybe. It closed in a sell last week. That's what it was. It's trying to lift up. It's trying to get back towards the buy. It doesn't look like it's going to happen this week. You see that right there. You can see we're at a daily buy for 3 days. We don't have a line over there. Let's steal one of the lines and move it in there. Let's see. Let's steal that one. There it is. So you can see there, we've been in a buy for 3 days. They tried to, sell it down yesterday. It's an outside day. In other words, we've broken the high of yesterday and the low of yesterday and closed up. And so that puts a little bit more pressure on the product. Today they made another high, and now it's just underneath a little bit. I don't see the panic. I just don't see the panic. The market barely broke down 200 points on the Dow Jones Industrial Average, and then closed down 165.70, and right now we're basically up 100 points. And you go over to here's the Janos said the S&P 500. Here's the S&P 500. This is the intraday short term, coming off of the low of 55, and I think they broke the 40 something yesterday when that news came out. They got into the 50s. Let's see. Yeah, they got down to 50. Was that like 55? That's what I see. I see the 55 area. I see 58 right there. That was yesterday. That's after the market closes. That's last night. They got down into the 56 area, and now we are trading at the 71 area. So they tried to challenge it again and failed at it, and it's lifting up. You can see we went into a buy right here, and it's climbing. So we don't really see a lot of weakness out of it at this point. Let's run over and look at the daily real quick. And at the end of the webinar, I'll go after other stock indices, take a look at like Russell and so forth. But you can see here, went into a sell yesterday, the S&P 500. It's trying to lift back up again now. Now we're at 72.25. Going up another couple ticks, and we'll see if they can get this back into the buy. Right now we are flirting with the weekly sell again after just 1 week in a buy. We'll see how that goes by the end of the day. I would speculate, just a guess, just the way it's acting, that unless there's some more bad news out there, they're going to take it up. That's what I see. Now on the dollar index, as we said, you can see it up on J4X, and it's staying in that weekly sell, but working towards the buy side right there. You can see it's higher up. It's up on an angle, moving. The fast and the slow are right on top of each other, and we're in the daily buy. So that's that. Now the third one was Tesla. Someone, who was it? JP Morgan? Somebody came out. Nomura from Japan, maybe. I think it was a foreign investor. Let me see if I can find it. There was a foreign bank that put a sellout on Tesla, saying that it thought it would go to 146. And let's put Tesla up on the screen here. There it is. Let me find out who it was. I think it was Nomura that came out with that statement about Tesla. Let's see. Let's see. Out there. I didn't take it too serious because I thought it was like, oh, okay, you know how these analysts that like 9.8 out of 10 times are always looking at buys. It's rare for somebody to put a sell out, so that was kind of interesting. Tesla are being blocked as Swedish ports due to dock worker late dispute. I didn't see that one before. I think it was Nomura. We'll find it. It was a headline. It was interesting. No, I don't see it. Yeah, someone put it like someone from the Asian region, one of the major banks. I thought it was Nomura. Put $146 price tag on it. As you can see here, it's trading at 2 and change, 209, and that's yesterday, right? Yeah, that's yesterday. Let's see if we can get the see what it looks like today. Yeah, so it's trading basically unchanged. It duplicates yesterday, but it doesn't duplicate the close. So it's just up a little bit, I think. No, it's down a little bit. So yesterday it settled at 209.98. Right now it's trading at 27. So it's down about 3/4 of a cent, a dollar. Nothing major there. So there's some pressure on it. You can see we've been in a daily sell from here, I guess it is. Move that line. Let's steal this line right there. We went into the sell there. Or is it here? I think it might have been there. Yeah, it was right there. So we've been in the daily sell for this is the 5th day in a daily sell. And let's steal this buy right there. Went into the buy there. But we've been in that weekly sell here on the Tesla since there. So I'm not really concerned about this meaning much. It's it's the same old Wall Street slip post. Here's an article. This is what I was talking about. Let's see if we can put this up on the screen for you. There you go. Wall Street slip post, Powell and Poor 30-year auction. News squawk. Europe markets open. Yeah. So that's it's just a noise. That is just a noise, really. All right. So the outlook for all of them I think the dollar is sideways for the next week, sideways up at this point. I think the Tesla, has been in that weekly sell since the $260 area on a weekly basis, $265. And here we are trading. We've made a low of 190 something, and we're playing with 209 now, and we're in a daily sell now from 220. So I could see it feeling more pressure. Also there's tax selling going on. This is the other thing. We have 6.5 weeks for tax selling. So in other words, people need to take some profits and take some losses at the same time. So there's some sloppy action going on, and then that's how you get the ho-ho rallies and things like that. Getting a sip of the tea again. All right. Any other questions? If not, I'll keep on moving along. I'm going to throw in the euro now. Let's throw the euro in there and see what's going on. And there is the euro. And you can see here, it's trying to lift back up. It's 3 days. Let's grab one of these cells. It's 3 days in a sell now. The weekly is holding up. So, to me, I think the currencies usually lead the market better than most of the products to watch. Matter of fact, when volatility in options usually get going in currencies about a day and a half before we see action in the other, indices. Or how do I describe it? Excuse me. The volatility in like the S&P 500 and so forth doesn't kick up until it'll kick up after the increase in volatility when it comes into the currencies. So they kind of lag it a little bit. Um, so there's the euro. It's still trying to lift up. You can see it's very close to getting into the buy. Let's put it up on J4X. We're at that point now where it's year end settling up. Some doing tax sales, settling up. That's what settling up is all about. Closing out old positions. They want to take losses in. Opening new positions. They want to get a jump ahead into going into the first of the year, or they want to dress up their portfolio. Let's say someone wants to own a stock that's been up like 30%. And what they do is, it's one of the strangest things I've always seen in the financial industry. But let's say you're a fund and you're under invested in something like Google. Okay, so in other words, your portfolio doesn't match what it should match when it comes to having more Google stock. You have some, but you don't have enough. And then what happens is that they start dollar cost averaging in over the next 4 or 5 weeks, because they want at the end of the year, when the portfolio is looked at by the investors, they see that the portfolio is balanced with the correct increments of different companies. And that's a strange thing, because buying it means that they're buying higher, not lower, and then they're going to say, and at the same time, Google has been up 32% for the year, and I want to say they make it look like they've been long Google, except for in the accounting you can tell that they weren't. But sometimes investors go, okay, well, they dollar cost averaged their way into the last couple of weeks, and so they have some position, but they don't have the full position, and they didn't benefit from the 32% gain for the year. And in essence, maybe they end up only gaining, say, 15 or 12%, and they're excited about making it look like they have. They call that window dressing. And so it's one of the stranger ways of investing, as far as I'm concerned. Anyhow, there is the euro. Let's take a look at it also on our platform, just so that I can see that it is working well. This is the futures contract, and right there and right there, you see that it's trying. It's got that red going on, just like over here on J4X, and the red over here on the older platform for 3 days there. And then let's see what the weekly looks like again. And there is the weekly, still 3 solid weeks in the buy. Whereas on the other, it's only showing 2 weeks in the buy. So I'm not worried about it trying to back off at this point. Now let's take a look at the British pound. We'll throw it up on J4X. There's British pound. See that? Same situation. 3 days in a sell. Let's take a look at it right there. There you are. You see the same thing. Let's grab a red line and put it in there. There we are. See, it's in a sell for 3 days right there. And you can see the weekly is trying to break down. It's below the manifold here on the plus side, but has not broken zero. It looks like it's trying to stay firm in here. So chances are, if we look at it, it could slide into. That's funny. Just saw something on TV. And so, we're seeing here that maybe next week they start to show some pressure on cable. All right. Now, from there, let's see if we can figure out what's next to look at. And that is, I see no questions. Be right back. Okay, no problem, Robin. So right there is the Swiss. And the Swiss is 3 days in a buy. Let's grab a buy and slide that in there. Steal that one. There it is right there. So it's pushing along. The weekly is trying to climb. We got that fast jumping through the zero line. That's kind of curious in its own right. We got this going on here, the slow going above the manifold. So let's see if next week they start to put some pressure on it. That'd be interesting if we saw that. But remember, this is the end of the year, so it's awful hard to take any of it. Next week is the last full week of November, and then it gets real sloppy from there. The following week is Thanksgiving, where on the Thursday, the markets are closed here in the States, and then Friday they're only open. Some of them are open, some are not. Half a day, that type of thing. The New York, U.S. stocks are open for half a day, that type of thing. Some products are not traded again since Wednesday afternoon. It's the holidays. These are the times where everything starts to build towards Christmas. So, all right. From there, let's see. We got up there. We don't have it up on J4X. Let's put it up on J4X too. There it is. You can see there a couple days in a buy, same as here. It's going on a third day, and that is what it is. Now, over here on our platform, we're using futures for the currencies at this point until we get efficient data feed from Dukascopy. Start or bleeding it into our system. So this will be the reverse, because this is the American futures contract, which is not traded the same way as Euro and GBP future contracts are traded. It's reversed. So it should be showing red in a sense, going down. And there it is. And it is, 3 days in a sell right there. You can see that right there. And the weekly is it's sliding into the sell, whereas we're still fighting on the other platform to get into the buy at this point right there. It's trying to get in there, and the fast is jumping up, but the slow is not. So we'll see if this closes in a sell on the futures contract there, which will tell us that it's losing against the dollar. Now, whereas on the spot, it if it's losing against the dollar, it's going up in value. All right, from there, we slide over to the yen, right there. No, that's not the yen, it's British yen. Right there we are. So there's, the yen doing some weird stuff. It's going after that 45-year high again. I did see the Nikkei trading in the 33,000 area. That's pretty cool. Only 6,000 points off of all-time highs. What a currency translation situation that is. All right, that was a bit of tea. So let's put up over here, which is the same situation. It's going to be reversed. It doesn't. They don't follow the Swiss and the yen the same way they follow cable and euro in futures contracts. So in this case, it'll be going down, not up. See, down, down, down. And at the same time, you can see it's been in that weekly sell for a while. A lot of pressure. And then when we go over to here, let's put the yen in there. And we'll go like this, and you can see the same situation. It's climbing. That's what it's supposed to do. It's a reverse. And here we are in the 31 area, 39 area, 151.39 with a high today of 49. So, and I think 98 is the all-time, or is like the 45-year high. That's pretty, damning. You know what I mean? What else can we say about any of this? Trying to think what else to say. We talked to the stories we saw yesterday in Asia. Nothing major there today. The only thing we heard coming out of Asia is the markdown of Tesla. So that says a lot right there alone. All right, traders. I'm going to head over to the experiment. If you have any other product you'd like to see, just put it up on the chat line. We'll go take a look at it. You don't have to ask any questions. You just put a product on the chat line. I'll go look at it. Now let's go find the Euro Turkish Lira, what we call the Great Experiment. And it went into the sell yesterday, so you can see a red. Didn't do it here, but you can see the weakness: 66.1 versus 75 in the stochastic situation, but still green hinkies. Today it's trying to generate a red. Let's take a look at it over here. Right there. Woo! Someone got wicked. We're looking for a 33 high coming around the corner. Did anybody do that on J4X? I don't see anything like that on J4X with that wild spike. Someone got raked over the coals. That is wild. We've had a lot of these wild spikes in this product. And you can see here the daily is not lifting yet. I mean, it's turning. Look at the manifold tightening up. Now at the same time, you can see here, this is and so you can see here, the weekly is holding up very well, and it's not letting go. And no other way to describe it. The great experiment is just keeps on going on. The bigger question is, I think it's going to make up into the 33s, maybe 34. I'm not even sure where I can mathematically. I think I remember that's what the Fibonacci is all about. I think if we tighten this up, let's see if we can tighten this up. I'm not sure where I derived the bounce. I think it was some type of, I forget what the theoretical was at the time when I came up with it, why we have that going on. But I think that let's see if we aim it down. Let's see if we can do this. Yeah, so there is 31 and change right there. What was that? 31.73, and then the next one is 30. There it is, the 34. That is a 618. So it's par, and then there's a second one above it for whatever reason I came up with at the time. But the 34.38, I figure that with interest rates going from 12.5% to 25%, and if they start trading at all-time highs again, they're going to have to try to do something. And it's going to be really hard when you're talking about raising interest rates to say another 12.5%, which would be 37.5%. And you would assume that they'll do what they did here. They'll slam it down for like 4 or 5 days or 3 days, something like that. And then, start taking it up again, because everything is policy. As much as we want to give credence or, give credit to the interest rate. But policy is really the problem. Or I don't know if it's a problem. It's an experiment. Whatever they're doing, they're trying to devalue the currency. So. Yeah, so that's what it really comes down to. So we're thinking that, there's probably some type of, they're trying to do something that so they can capitalize on that fast play somewhere along the line. In other words, front run it. Why try to trick the statement? I think there'll be a front run. If something happens, they'll front run it. So, all right. And if anybody wants to know what front run means, just say front run. What is that? With a question mark, and I'll explain front running. Okay. It's insider trading, basically. That's what it is. All right. From there, we go over to the brick. Check out the brick, see which, the largest brick in the world. And that is South African Rand. So let's slide that up onto the J4X. Right there. Yeah, look at that. It's just acting better and better and better. No, I'm sorry. Worse and worse in a sense. The fastest trading at 88. The slow is trading at 65. This usually represents weakness in the metals complex, but the last I saw gold, let's do that. The last time I saw gold, where is it at? Right. Let's close that too at the same time. Right there. And there's gold. And gold, okay, yeah, they're selling it down again. The box is getting longer. It's moving longer over. It's playing with the bottom end of that range. I think it needs to be pulled down a little bit. Like that. There it is. Playing with the low of yesterday. It lifted up. And you can see we're in a daily sell. But we're in a weekly buy. The fast is trying to break right there on the weekly signal. But not doing too good. I mean, it's doing a good job. It's underneath. But the slow is hanging tough. And so we kind of think this is a base. That's the way we look at it. And I put in there also, or head and shoulders. So base means it's going to go up. But head and shoulders means it's going to top out. I want to believe that it's more of a base, and it may go down and challenge the green line, that type of thing. And then we'll see it lift back up again. But right now, with the South African rand trying to rise, lose against the dollar. When the South African rand is rising on the spot, it means that the rand is losing to the dollar. When the rand, like you see all the red hinkies here, that meant that it was gaining against the dollar. And so the metals complex pays attention to that. So let's just save that because we move that stuff around. And then let's go like so. And that's right, it's gold. Let's move that off the screen like so. And there is the gold. And I wanted to save that. And so there's gold. Now, we've really been disappointed with silver. It's like, I think we called it yesterday, a lack of buyers, really. It's like a buyer strike. And that's pretty much what's going on. You can see here, there's the sell. And, it never even got up to the $26 area compared to gold getting through the 2,000 area. Very impressive. But the product is basically not going anywhere. And we kind of think of it as a buyer strike, not a seller, not like a big selling going on. He's back. Yo, Robin. Gold there, flirting around on the lows again. And you can see silver there. Silver, I was disappointed silver didn't get up into that 26 area. Yeah, 26 area. I'm surprised it didn't do that. Now we go over to, there's copper. Copper is sinking with all that bad China situation. But it's not getting crushed. It's just, again, we can say it one more time, and that is, it looks like a buyer strike more. Not a selling, but a buyer strike. I think I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. So, without the buying, excuse me. Sorry about that, traders. Without the buying, it kind of, looks sloppy, going nowhere. And I don't think they're running away from the metals, because the world is kind of noisy right now with the situation in the Middle East and the noise in Ukraine and the noise in Washington, with all the foolishness going on by the ruling party. Republicans control the House where they control purse strings, and it looks like they're probably going to say you have to go back to following the rules, like the law, and that is pass individual bills. And so, the head of the Senate and the president said, no, we don't have any interest in doing it right. We just want to spend money. And the House is saying, no, it doesn't work that way. And they say, yeah, well, we don't care. Strange people. But anyway, so we'll see if the buyer strike goes on with the metals, any longer than what it has already done. Let's save that one. And there it is right there. Okay. Now, from there, we go over to the platinum, which is kind of a very strange event that's going on there. Let's see. I think that's good. Yeah, I think that looks fine. That's going to push itself into the sell again in the weekly sell, which says, normally, watch out on the, silver and watch out for gold. They're all going to go down, and that's what they're doing. But they're not doing it with the power. I mean, look at the, we've seen platinum there almost go from 90, was it that 90, almost $950 area down to $853. It's like $100 off. Whereas gold is kind of much more, and silver, they're kind of like sideways. They're not really pressing that hard whatsoever. So it kind of says something's brewing there, that there's no interest. Again, buyer strike. That's really what it comes down to. Not that there's sellers as much as there's the lack of buyers, which then slows down the selling to a great extent. All right, that pretty much does the South African Rand with the metals complex. So from there, we'll slide over to the energy sector. Let's see what's going on with energy. And we'll put West Texas Intermediate on there. That's the spot. It's trying to get into the buy right there. We're in a weekly sell for a second week, so it's not exactly that exciting. Then when we slide over to Brent, we're going to put Brent up on right there. There it is. There's Brent, and we'll put Canadian up on the screen because the Canadian is what relates more to energies. You see, it's going up, which means it's losing against the dollar, which means that the energies are trying to go down. And when you look right here, there it is. You can see right there, it's been pressing down, and now it's trying to. This is Brent itself, and we've been in a sell all the way back here, like 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, really. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's like 2.5 weeks ago. It's in the sell. You can see the weekly. It's been in a weekly sell for 6. This is the 7th week in the weekly sell. So they're not doing a good job of getting the energies up, even with it coming into the winter. It's really slowed these products down. All right, and then from there, we go over to natural gas. So let's get natural gas up on the screen. All right. Oh, let me save this too. All right, now let's put on there. Where was I at? There's the Canadian. Oh, let's get the natural gas up there. There's natural gas. You see that's been drifting down too. It's went into the sell right here. It's playing with the weekly sell with no problem. It's going to be closing in the weekly sell, and that is the action we're seeing in December oil. We still have a couple weeks of it before it expires. It expires in the end of November. Let's see, what else can we say about the nat gas? Just that it's in the daily sell and the weekly sell. And here we are heading into the winter, and it seems like nobody cares. So that's pretty cool. I'm much happier to see this prices go down to help people be able to pay their energy costs, And then, let me think. So then, we go to, and so on there, then we go not in. Okay, why not? Webinar. Oop. There we are. And so then from there, we go over and look at the energy company in Spain. Yesterday we were hoping, because of the way we were seeing the contract here in the States trade, we were hoping that that the energy product would be like playing with 26. And we're looking at, you can see it right there. It's not. It's staying up higher, pushing up. Let's put it up on the screen here since this is the last of the energies. $26.70. Just when we thought it might go challenge to 26 2 days ago, it's doing the opposite. It keeps on showing strength. When we saw this weakness for days and days, and we were in daily sells, but we went into a daily buy yesterday. It's holding up well. We're in a weekly buy for a couple of weeks. It's like just when you thought it was safe to get into the water, the shark reappears. And so that's the energy company in Spain. And all it's doing is finding ways to lift up. So unfortunately, I'd assume that they're having, more increased cost, or at least it's not getting cheap. Let's put it that way in Europe. All right. So from there, we go over to the stock indices and we'll look at the cryptos. Stock indices and cryptos. So let's put the S&P 500 up. Let's see, where is it? Right there. There it is, right there. And you can see now we're at 74, almost 75. It's trying to lift through. The weekly is at minus $1.50, 40 cents, 30 cents, $1.30. So if we get back up into the high 80s, this might push us right back above the weekly. And so there's $1.60 minus, $1.50 minus. You know, it's vacillating back and forth, and we just saw a little push on the upside there where it played with the $1.30 area. Doesn't take much. There's $1.40, and there's $1.50 again. If this thing trades at, you know, 375, it might be $1.30 again. Let's see. Okay. So now it's what, $1.60 with it at 374. Interesting. All right. What else can we say about the S&P 500? It's going to be a real battle today. Today's Friday. The fast is trying to take out the top of the manifold, and the slow is trying to slide into a sell. So unless there's some news out, you know, I think, let's see, where are we at? Unemployment was last week. We must be, I guess we're coming up on CPI and PPI. I guess that's next week. Let's see. Let me think. What else? Oh, there's 75. So there you go. Look at that. 90 minus 0.90. We're trading at 75.75. So yeah, if we get up into the 80s, this thing will climb out of the weekly sell, and that'll be interesting. You know, to see that. Like I said, you know, unless there's some super bad news. There's not much of a reason to be worried about the market at the moment, because the Fed needs to keep that. You know, let's put it this way: they got a big bond auction. They want everybody to feel pretty comfortable that maybe interest rates are dropping, and I'm figuring that the interest rate will go sideways to up. Not the interest rates; the price of the bond will go sideways to up again. Now, will it go take out anything major? I doubt it, but we'll see. As we sip our tea. All right, there we go. So now from there, wow, look at that. Yeah, it's okay, minus $1.20. So not that bad. Like I said, 80s. All right, from where are we going from there? Let's go over to the Nasdaq. I noticed yesterday Nasdaq did not close in a daily sell. Now today it's trying to get into a daily sell, but it's lifting up now. You know, it doesn't have. Let's monitor that a little bit and see what we can figure out. There's trading at 84. It's at 56.33. There's 85. It's at 55, 83, 55.17. Let's see if it goes like 88 or something like that while we're looking at this, and see how the daily changes. Whereas the weekly is not playing with the sell at all. And there's 86. All right. There's 86.50. This thing flies all over the place. Be nothing for it to tick 89 and then like 2 ticks. There's 86 and a quarter, 86.75. There's 87 and change. You can see the daily is now bouncing around 50. It was 55.13 from that. Now it's at 84. So basically, I would say that if we see this product get up into the let's say the 3 and change, three. Let's see what the high yesterday was. The high yesterday was 453. It'll easily be in the daily buy. Now, yesterday's settlement, the day before's settlement, let's put that was at 59, 359. So 60, 70 points. I would think that if we get, and how much is it up now? 28. If this thing's up 100 points for today, more than likely it's in the daily buy. But it's in a weekly buy, so we won't take the sell that serious to begin with. We'll just be cautious and be neutral. Sell some calls against longs, that type of thing. So I'm not, the Tech 100 is not showing any dramatic weakness, and it's higher than when it closed the week before. You can see that there. It closed last week at 185. It's trading almost 100 points higher. Excuse me. Let's go back and look at the S&P. See how that relationship is. So last week it closed at 33. 333, 4,333. And here we are at 374. So we're 44 points higher than last week. That's a pretty big for that product. All right, now let's go take a look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average, the grand lady of them all. Right, yeah. There it is, right there. You see that's that's down for it. You can see there's last Friday. Last Friday's settlement is 34,165. We are 120 points down. And right now, the contract is, where's the futures contract? I think it's trading up like 80 some odd points. Maybe 90? Or it was 100 a few minutes ago. Let me see if we can find it again. Oh, we can see it up on the screen. It's trading up 95 points, 96 points. So, if it gets up to be, tries to take out last Friday's close, that would be much more positive action there. We are in a weekly buy, don't have any doubts. Let's grab the sell from somewhere. There's a sell. Let's grab that. So it went into the sell yesterday, and it needs to climb a couple hundred points to get back into the daily buy, but if it'll stay in the weekly buy, that'll put pressure on the product to stay up there. So we're not really seeing any selling. As a matter of fact, people will look at this as a very weak correction, and next week we'll start to see it take off even more. Now from there, we go to the Russell. So here's the Russell. Russell's been in a sell for 4 days, and not taking out the lows, but not getting the weekly to get into the buy. So it's been the one that's been very clear to be short for the last 3 days for sure. What else is there? This is the 4th day in the sell at this point, but trying to lift. It's up a couple points for the day, I think. Let's see, how much is it up? 8 points for the day. So, and then we go over to we look at the ETF in Bitcoin right there, and you can see it's above yesterday's close. It's showing some strength there. Let's look at it right here on J4X. Right there, there's the Bitcoin. You can see it's doing the same thing. It's pushing up. It's up for the day. And let's put it up on the beta. There's the beta. Let's see, where's that? There it is right there. There's the cash. That's the spot itself. You can see that same thing showing life, and it's above the what is that? It's in the, let's just amplify it a little bit for you like that. So it's trading at what is that? That is 36,000. No, that's not it. 37,137. So it's over 37,000. Now let's go like that, and then take a look at there's the daily. Been in a daily buy now for this is 6 days now in a daily buy. The weekly's just been marching for months in the weekly buy. So they've been buying at this and buying at this, knowing the insiders knew that there was going to be opportunity the cryptos. In other words, they're going to open the doorway for more investors to be able to use it. That's what it comes down to. All right, traders. If there's no other questions, we're going to get out of here. We got to come up with a title too. What should the title be? How about we got to come up with a title? So what should the title be today? Let me think. We looked at the currencies. How about buyer strike? I think again we said that about metals. Maybe bonds. We can talk about the bonds. We talked about that a lot, about the vigilantes and so forth. So maybe we'll make the title something to do with the bond market. All right, traders, we're out of here. This is Doc from North America. We will see you all tomorrow. No, I'm sorry, it's Monday. Monday. TGIM is coming up. Thank goodness it's Monday. So we'll all see you Monday, same time, same channel. So, happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. Later, traders. Everybody have a safe and smart weekend. Ta-ta for now.